I see you in the comments. All right. I apologize for being late. It's completely my fault. You look at the digs, right? Maybe it looks like I'm lurking in the shadows. I'm in a new place, but it doesn't matter because I actually showed up, which we cannot say about a specific Jet player. It can we even say a specific Jet player? I don't even know. So let's say what we can say after this intro. Boy Green meets Wudi.
Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
Welcome to another episode of Boy Green Meets Wudi. It is your boy, James Wudi, Mr. All Caps, No Cap. And of course, you have the man with the plan who hosts the channel, Boy Green. I still gotta work on that. I feel like there's more. There's more to the titles, all right. But he is a man of many names, right? Man of many names. Boy Green, how you doing today?
Again, that's okay. Woody, we're at the beginning of training camp. You got to work out the kinks. It's been a long off season for you, obviously. So that's all right. And by the way, Woody, I am so glad I'm seeing it from Jared B. I forgot to officially announce this to you, but let me play this real quick. Shout out to Snowball. There is an official Woody emoji that people can use on the channel now. So yoked up. My father asked about that. He said, "Is this a picture-esque thing of Woody and his muscles and everything?" I'm like, I'm not sure on that. My father was asking, but I'll leave that for Woody to interpret. But yeah, get those Woody emojis going. That is exclusively for the members of the Boy Green Coffee Club, which you guys can join for $2.99 a month. It's spectacular. But yeah, the Woody emoji is in there along with a bunch of other emojis. But you're officially part of the team there. Thank you to Snowball for that.
Absolutely couldn't be more honored. I feel like it's everybody's dream to become an emoji, Woodmoji, right? I've seen in the chats all the different terms, and we made it happen. And super appreciative of everybody in the Boy Green Coffee Club that messes with those Woody beans as well.
And yeah, so let's get into it. And what a wonderful start to my show this morning. I said, man, the Jets dodged a real bullet. I was talking about the Shaq Barrett thing where he was supposed to sign with the Jets, and last second he's like, nah, I'm actually signing with the Dolphins. And guess what? They're better than the Jets. They're more established. And he went on this whole tirade. I'm like, whoa, what the hell? And the Jets ended up with Haason Reddick, and I was like, woo, what a bullet dodge, because old Shaq Barrett announced his retirement over the weekend, which leaves the Dolphins high and dry, trying to scramble to find answers. I think someone texted me earlier saying Emmanuel Ogba was their pivot, which he's a whatever, fine. He gets in the room, but I was like, whoa, what a bullet dodge. I'm like, thanks, everybody. Can't wait. I'll see you at 3:00. Who knows what we'll talk about based on whatever Jet news happens. And then as soon as Boy Green Daily signs off, can you believe Haason Reddick is holding out of training camp? And I'm like, what the flying hoot? So yeah, I have multiple columns up on it, but the one that's linked in the YouTube description down below is the very headline of this video. And apparently, so let's just lay out the foundation here before we get anywhere else. Haason Reddick's holding out, so he's not showing up, which means he could be fined a non-waivable $50,000 a day. What does that mean? Non-waivable. Non is the prefix for not waivable, which means that all these days that Haason Reddick misses, he's going to be fined $50,000 a day. He's already been fined, not including anything with training camp so far. He's been already fined $300,000 from earlier this offseason from skipping OTAs and the mandatory minicamp. And now it will be $50,000 a day every day as it goes on. And it's non-waivable on the CBA, which means that Reddick can't show up in a week and say, I'm sorry, I don't know what I was thinking. My money back, please. They're going to be like, no, we can't give you the money back. It literally is against the rules. So the only way he could get his money back is if the Jets give him a brand new extension or something, give him new money, but he's still going to lose the money he lost. I don't see the Jets making up that difference. So long story short, Reddick is taking an aggressive stance. He's digging his heels in. He's deciding not to show up, which obviously puts the pressure on the New York Jets. We have a poll of the day out. We'll get to that in a little bit, but you guys can check out the description down below. And the headline that I just want to make sure we get to right off the top is number one, Connor Hughes of SNY revealed that when the Eagles granted the Jets permission to talk to Reddick about, potentially being traded to the Jets and contractual stuff, Connor Hughes revealed that the Jets offered a contract at that moment, a brand new contract apparently, to Haason Reddick before being traded. And Connor Hughes explained it wasn't anything crazy, but it was a raise on what he was set to make, which is $14.25 million for this year. And Reddick apparently told the Jets, "Go kick rocks, pal. I am not interested." And apparently the contract offer you gave me, and apparently the contract he wants is paying him somewhere between $25 to $28 million per year, according to Connor Hughes. That's where he wanted to go. And apparently the Jets responded to him and said, "Well, if you want that, then show up to everything this offseason and, perform, and we'll give you a contract." Well, yeah, sure. We'll make something happen, like a John Franklin Meyer situation is what Connor Hughes referenced it, where JFM proves himself. Remember, he was paid right before they went on the London trip, got paid, and then they went to London, and boom, bam, bang. It was a wonderful story. So that's basically the gist. But like I said, the full column is down below in the YouTube description if you guys would like to check it out. But that's where we're at, Wudi. The Jets offered him a contract. He said he's not interested. Apparently, he changed his mind, and he's held out. And now things are a little awkward here, Wudi.
Definitely awkward. Definitely an aggressive stance to throw away that amount of money on a daily basis to not show up. The media pundits that were saying that, this is going to be cleaned up by training camp. We saw at his camp he was wearing a Jet shirt. Now I don't know where he got that shirt from. I mean, I don't know because we are.
How concerned are you, Wudi? Let me ask you that right off the top.
Me personally,
yes.
Scale of 1 to 10,
sure.
I'm at about a 9. I'm
9. Wow.
I'm very concerned. There are too many people out there, and hey, there's nothing wrong with believing in your team. I love the New York Jets. I think they are. I think we're in for a fun season. But Haason Reddick is a big part of that.
Yes,
I think too many people are saying, "Oh, didn't even need him anyway." What are you talking about? Edge is fine, one of the best positions, top 3 defense without him. Doesn't even matter. He's literally the best edge rusher on the team. He has a tremendous, dramatic. I almost combined those two words together and said traumatic because that's how I feel right now. But dramatic impact on how the team will function. It cannot be a bigger deal.
To your point, so Sean Bennett, and you're not the only one, but I'm going to pick on you for a second, Chuck, because you're the one who said it. We have Will McDonald, we're good. We have Will McDonald, we're good, the 15th overall draft choice from last year. Wudi, if the Jets believe they were good with Will McDonald, why the hell did they trade for Haason Reddick? That doesn't make any sense, because I get it that they rotate their pass rushers and they needed another starting caliber pass rusher, but there's a difference between signing a starting caliber pass rusher and trading for Haason Reddick, who, again, to your point and eloquently put, he's the best gosh darn pass rusher on the team. He's one of the best overall players on the team. So again, if the Jets believed they were good, quote unquote, because of Will McDonald, then they wouldn't have traded for Reddick. They would have just signed Emmanuel Ogbah, who just signed with the Dolphins. They'd be like, we got Jermaine Johnson, we got Will McDonald, we got our guys, and now we got one extra guy who could just kind of rotate in. Obviously, the Jets didn't feel like they were good. Now, again, they have high expectations for Will, but Will's never done it before, so you don't know what he's going to provide. So I'm going to be honest. I'm going to have to push back pretty aggressively on this, Sean, that I'm excited about Will McDonald. Again, I drooled about him on the Boy Green Daily show today about the spin moves and stuff I was seeing at the Hall of Fame game. And I said, man, if we're seeing this game one, what are we going to see with more development and more things of that nature and playing with great guys on the team? But we just haven't seen it. So obviously the Jets did not believe they're good. And I do agree with you, Woody. Too many people are like, you're lost. You're lost, Reddick. See ya, sucker. Sit and watch this show. We're going to be rocking. And the Jets defense is really good. I'm not trying to crap on the Jets defense, but Reddick is an important cog to the machine. If the Jets want to win the Super Bowl, which is the goal, it's competing, it's contending, it's making the playoffs, it's making a run, Haason Reddick has to be a part of that equation for the Jets to achieve their highest goals because he's one of the best players on the team. Point blank.
Yes, I completely agree. Let me just highlight another comment.
Okay.
I feel like that was a tremendous breakdown of that comment.
Okay.
Matthias,
yeah,
talking about Will McDonald is no Reddick, not now. That's a fact. That is an absolute fact. That's pretty much what Boy Green and I are saying is that he could be great right now. I mean, he could be great, in the future, but right here, right now, Reddick is one of the best pass rushers in the league. Mm-hmm. And McDonald, might not even be one of the best pass rushers on the team. There's levels to this. Now for Joe Douglas, that second half, I think you guys have all seen me personally raise a pitchfork to the man Joe Douglas.
Uh-huh.
I've said many things about that big old bald man. Did he screw up this time? I don't know. I'm normally quick to pull that trigger. There's definitely a misstep here. Maybe multiple of them. What?
I disagree. I don't think Joe Douglas screwed up.
You don't think he screwed up?
Well, maybe I'm jumping the gun here to what you're going to say. But one thing I will say immediately is the people that are saying, well, you should have stuck with Bryce Huff. You shouldn't have traded away JFM. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Okay? Reddick is way better than Bryce Huff. You can, again, the same conversation. Over the next 5 years, he could be a blah, blue. Just like my father said, Derek Carr, great runway for the next, 30 years. I don't give a flying hoot about the next 30 years. It's right now. The correct decision Joe Douglas made is Reddick, better than Huff right now. And to be honest, looks both ways. It's not particularly close. And I like Bryce Huff. He's been on the show. He barely scratched and clawed his way to 10 sacks. And this is a production business. This is results-oriented. The advanced analytics are very nice. Carl Lawson's advanced analytics were very nice. Your boy, Leonard Williams, analytics were very nice. But this is a world where sacks are the predominant figure. And Bryce Huff barely got there once. Haason Reddick's done it 4 straight years. Haason Reddick, and I'm not trying to completely trash Huff and JFM here, but because they were good dudes. But Haason Reddick is better. And if the Jets are trying to win a championship and they're trying to swing the bat for the best guys, they made the correct swing. And I don't know if that's what you're saying here, Matthias, with the screw up, but that's it for Haason Reddick. He is an important piece to the puzzle. Now, where we can get into Joe Douglas mistakes is a mistake that 1,000 teams have made. And I'm not trying to denigrate it, make it, hey, Joe Douglas, everyone jumps off a bridge. It's all cool. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying a lot of people have made the same mistake if there is a mistake to be made with Joe Douglas, and that is trading for a player and not doing the extension or alterations immediately. Because Jamal Adams is a great example. The Jets slap a shipping label on the right ass cheek of Jamal Adams whoosh, and send him to Seattle. Seattle did not immediately extend Jamal Adams, but they gave up a bounty of picks, as we all know, to get him. And Jamal and his agent went, it's over, game over. If they don't sign me long-term, there are going to be pitchforks and torches on their organization because of what they gave up. They have to give me a blank check. And that ended up being true, became the highest paid safety in football. So again, a lot of teams have made that mistake of trading for a guy, not extending him. There have been teams that have done the right thing. Giants, Brian Burns this offseason. As soon as they trade him, part of the trade was, boop, slap it on him, 5-year, $150 million deal. Bing, boom, bam. nothing in, we're locked in because we traded for the guy. The Jets did not do that. Instead, it appears to be a handshake deal. Hey, Haason, we don't really want to give you a long-term deal right now, but, we could alter the contract or something and do that. And Reddick's apparently like, okay, yeah, that sounds fine. And then they just kind of like wink, handshaked over it. And then things happen. It's not in paper. It's not in ink. Reddick's like, yesterday's price is not today's price. Oh, you don't have Bryce Huff? Oh, you don't have JFM anymore? I want this much. And if you don't, I'm going to hold out. And just like, whoa, but you said this. And he's like, fuck you. I don't care what I said. It doesn't matter. So that's where you can argue that Joe Douglas screwed up. But I don't know if he screwed up. Not that I don't know. Let me be more emphatic. He definitely did not screw up with the selection of Haason Reddick over Huff and JFM because Reddick is better than those guys, and you need the best guys to win the Super Bowl.
Put up his last comment, because this is actually what I thought he was saying, which is kind of what you were saying. That in that whole negotiation, the whole chess piece of it, they say one in the hand is worth two in the bush. I don't think, well, let me not say I don't think anyone, because there are definitely plenty of crazy cuckoos out there that will say, oh, JFM and, Huff over them. But, for us, the Wudiologists that understand player value and all that type of stuff, everyone knows Haason Reddick is way better than them. But if he's not going to play, then that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. So, like you just broke down beautifully, that handshake, it's coming to bite him. It's
okay. Let me ask you. Okay, we put this poll up because it kind of I was going back and forth on it. I'll be honest. My Boy Green Daily Show ended, and I was driving in the car after I wrote like a very quick, very basic, like, oh my goodness, here's what happened to Reddick. Here's the facts. Bing, boom, bam. All right, driving to the radio station. Finish story, do radio show that has really nothing to do with the Jets. I had a quick bit on Reddick. Show's over, and then we're getting ready for this show. So I haven't had a lot of time to really dive into Jets content creators and hearing other people's thoughts on this Reddick's thing. But I thought to myself, who has the leverage here? And we put it out to a poll. We don't do this every time, but we put it out to a poll to our 17,000 followers on Twitter. And I asked, and right now we have like nearly 300 votes. Who has more leverage in this Jets versus Haason Reddick contract drama? The team or the player? And the two choices were Haason Reddick, need him, like again, like you have to have him, or the team under contract. Like, hey man, he's locked up. The team holds the power, or does the player hold the power? So this is what the fans are saying. 73% of the fans right now are saying the team holds the cards here. I throw it over to you, Wudi. Answer the question: who has the leverage in this situation? You thought you were done with leverage and Jets and Packers and trades last year. I think not. So who has the leverage?
It really depends on the perception, what we're looking to accomplish. I think the Jets do need Reddick. I think if the Jets have Super Bowl aspirations, I don't think they can get there with this roster without him. That's how strong. That's why I said I'm a 9 in how worried I am. But for Reddick, I mean, we kind of have seen how holding out. We've seen the good side of it, and we've seen the bad side of it, where, a guy named Le'Veon Bell never really came back. He got one payday because, some organization was stupid enough to give him a big deal after his holdout in Pittsburgh. I forget the organization.
I do too.
But
no recollection of that. No.
Reddick is really, being the age that he is, and I understand where he's coming from, right? He's earned this contract that he's looking for. But to hold out, like, is he going to hold out the whole season? Is that what he's going to do? Forfeit the money? I believe, and Boy Green, you would probably know this better than me. If he does hold out, I don't think that year, like, I think they could just tack on that year again to his contract.
Great question. And I've been trying to ask cap experts about this. From what I believe that the contract holds. So let's say Haason Reddick says, blow me, Jets. I'm not showing up to camp. I'm not playing this season unless you give me a contract. The Jets eat the bluff, say, fine, okay. And he doesn't play this entire year. Let's say it goes all the way to the extreme. I believe, and I'm waiting to get confirmation because I've reached out to a few cap people I know, does a contract toll and the Jets hold his rights? I believe they do. So I'm waiting to be proven wrong on that front. If someone, again, if I get a Cap person that texts me back or DMs me back on Twitter, I'll let you guys know as soon as I know. But I believe it tolls. And okay, like, just because you were scheduled to be a free agent, you have to play a certain part of the season for it to count. That's what they've said about Brandon Ayuk, that if he holds out for whatever period, it sounds like he's showing up to camp and it's going to be a Jordan Love Holden situation from what we're understanding. But from what I gather, Brandon Ayuk even would have to show up at some point during the season, which again, he could hold out, which is what people thought Le'Veon was going to do, hold out like the first 8 weeks and say, okay, fine, I will do just the bare minimum to reach free agency the following year. The difference there was a franchise tag, which is a different story. But long story short, I am very certain that it is a toll situation. So the Jets, so from that perspective, so we're talking about leverage, the Jets can find him $50,000 a day. So I think it's complicated. I think let's just say this, both sides need each other. The Jets need Reddick because they want to win a Super Bowl, and Reddick needs the Jets because he's under contract to the Jets. He's not a free agent. So they both need each other, but it is complicated. And if I was to give a gun to my head, pick one, I'm leaning with the fans here that the team has the control because they could find him $50,000 a day. They hold his contractual rights. And again, until I'm proven otherwise, his contract will toll. So that means he'll never play for another team not named the Jets unless he ends up showing up. And again, I will try to give you guys that information as soon as it's official, but I do believe that that's the case. So I believe, again, how far is Reddick willing to push it? If all of a sudden we're having this chat, Wudi, and it's August 23rd, and Reddick still hasn't shown up yet, it's Darrelle Revis all over again, where in that case, in Hard Knocks, thankfully Hard Knocks cameras aren't on it this time, that Revis showed up the game week of the Jets-Ravens game, showed up, and he ended up being fine. But boy, I don't want a rusty-ass Reddick. He's a professional, but there's a difference between normal shape and football shape, and we get a compromised Reddick when we're trying to win all in right now. That's why if I'm the Jets, I think they have the leverage, but at the same time, Reddick knows if the Jets don't win, everyone gets fired. So he's going to use that to his advantage, say, pay me the bag or else risk it and see what happens. So the team can find the hell out of him and all that stuff, but I do believe ultimately here, I am a slight lean to the team, but it's complicated.
Definitely, they need each other. Like you said, there are things at stake for both sides. So, whether it's more, I mean, it's just, by such a slight margin that I don't even, they both need each other. They need this to work. And I think that's what everybody was saying. That's why the assumption was, oh yeah, they'll clean this up before camp. Like, he doesn't want to lose all this. But the fact that now that we're here and like there are no more, because that's what we keep saying, right? Or, these dates, these milestones of, all right, OTA starts then, mandatory minicamp starts then, training camp starts now, like these are the dates, and we keep getting past them without a resolution. It is scary. I'm definitely afraid. I don't even want them to give him the deal that he's asking for, which is, I think that's probably why I'm most afraid, right? We always say we fear the unknown. I don't know what the best solution is. I don't know, because giving him $28 million, he wants a long term. If there's a way to say, all right, $28 million, this year, maybe the next 2 years, okay, that's cool. But that's not what he wants. He wants the long term, that big deal, that Brian Burns deal. And that is just not something that I can feel good about. I cannot sleep at night giving Haason Reddick that deal, no matter how good he is, because I know that in 3 years, Garrett, Sauce, Brees, Jermaine are all going to mean more to this team at that time. Elijah Vera Tucker, perhaps, Michael Carter II. I mean, so that's where I think Joe Douglas messed up. Like I think that is where you can attack Joe Douglas, is the possibility of this was high. Like that's why the Eagles were willing to deal him. It's not like they were like, oh, Haason Reddick is trash or Haason Reddick, is falling off. No, it was, they didn't want to give him the big dollars that he's asking for. They have people that they need to pay. So they're like, all right, you pay him. And the Jets thought that they can grab him and not pay him, but he will still play. And now that's not happening. So I do think, yes, I will officially agree with Matthias. I think Joe Douglas messed up because now we're in a situation where we're hoping he pays on a discount when he made it very clear to his former employer that he's not playing on a discount.
Yeah, that's for sure. I've got news for you on the things that scare you at night, Wudi, and we'll get to that in just a second. But the good news is Jared B just hooked our brother up. Boy Green Coffee Club. If you're new here to the show, every time a new member joins, we play the NFL draft chimes, and that was a audio selection by the people. This is a show by the people. They called themselves the Coffee Club. It's like the Breakfast Club. They called themselves that. I didn't make up that name. They called themselves. They said, you know what? Every time it is, it should be a draft chime. I'm like, okay, I'm a show by the people for the people. So shout out to Jared B for gifting this wonderful membership, and Sean Bennett, who we were just interacting with earlier about him saying some love for Will McDonald. We're underrating him. Well, you are now a member, a card-carrying member of the Boy Green Coffee Club. And guys, we'll see if we could get to it by the end of today's show. But we were about, give or take, 5 memberships away from a new emoji being unlocked. Could it be? I've got another Wudi one that I've been thinking about, but I can't unlock it until we get more memberships. So I believe we are 5 away from unlocking that membership. Maybe we could get there before the end of the show. So congrats, Sean Bennett, on becoming a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club. We'll see if we could get those 5 before the end of the show to get us another emoji. But Wudi, one of the things that you said you're worried about, and you're not the only one. I know there are fans in our audience that are worried about the same thing, about boy, Reddick wants a long-term lucrative deal that pays him, again, as we mentioned earlier at the beginning of the show, in case you missed it, to the 300 people that are here. Oh, boy. Let me just cut off because, like, it's already happened. I mean,
that was big. That was big.
Hell up. Rick Kent, we have reached it, baby. I feel like it's almost like, in WWE on something, you got to, like, ring the bell a bunch of times. I guess I'll just put it on a loop, actually. Here we go. I'll just do it itself. I'll just leave it. Booyah! We've got those 5 memberships. Shout out to Rick Kent for gifting those 5 to bring us, I believe, to a round 100 members of the Boy Green Coffee Club. You guys are phenomenal. Shout out to Rick Kent for getting us over the goal line here. Let's give a shout out to our 5 new members. We have Kareem Mitchell. You are now a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club. Let me wait for this to refresh, and I can give the rest of the shout-outs here to everybody that's coming through. But Kareem Mitchell, you are now a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club. AD Pugnut, you are a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club. Jay ETS, very nice, well done there. You are a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club. John G is a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club. And finally, Flight Right 49. You are a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club as well. So God bless, and thank you, Rick Kent, for making that possible, baby. One of the best in the gosh darn business, and you deserve your own sounder. Let's roll, baby. Paint the chat green. I believe that is now 100 members to the Boy Green Coffee Club, which is so cool. And you may be asking yourself, if you're a new member on the show or even an old member, what the hell does that even get me? What is becoming a member to not being a member? And I'll just let you guys know right now that me and Jared B, your moderator that you see right there on the screen, we have a Discord made, and we're working on the behind the scenes where every YouTube member of the Boy Green Coffee Club will get access to that Discord. And of course, all the emojis that are available, like the Wudi emoji or the Wood emoji, whichever you prefer. It's phenomenal. And I see R&R is saying, Boy Green, I heard you on the Rich Eisen show today. More on that later. Yes, but I did call into the Rich Eisen show, and I played the Jets win-loss game. I couldn't help myself. We needed some positivity with all this Reddick stuff going on, and I played the win-loss game, and that was a lot of fun. So, so cool. But thank you, everybody, for that. 100 members, triple digits, baby. It's blessed be he. I love it. And now we just got to go to the next. Oh, yeah, the fishing rod emoji. That's 100%. I'll just come out and say it. The emoji I want that I've been talking about with Snowball behind the scenes is a fishing rod emoji, and bringing the cast back, and it inspires me to get a great guest for this show. So that's the one I'm shooting for. No doubt about it. It's another Wudi emoji. It's a fishing rod emoji, and bringing that back. But real quick, thank you, Rick Ken, again. That's awesome. The thing that you fear, Wudi, is something a lot of Jet fans fear, is the Jets like feeling pressured, right? Like right now, it's like, it's going to be okay, right? And then a week from now, okay, Jets, you're going to pay him, right? We're trying to win the Super Bowl, right? And then they're just peer pressure to define you bastard. Here's a 2-year deal, $50 million, fully guaranteed. And then all of a sudden, Haason Reddick's got a stupid smirk on his face. He walks in, thanks, suckers. And then he's in there, and then Garrett, Brees, and everybody's like, the hell? What the? Like, because if next offseason the Jets are a little lackadaisical on getting that extension, like, oh, so if we just hold out, all of a sudden then you're going to pay us? Again, it sets a lot of bad potential precedents. But here is the good news or bad news. Take this for what you will. This is also included in the Boy Green story that is in the YouTube description down below in the Haason Reddick thing, is that there is some conflicting information, but NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport, he said that a full-blown extension is unlikely or may be unlikely. So he does not believe the Jets are going to surrender that. But Rappaport also added that he believes a, quote, adjustment to the final year of Reddick's deal would likely result in Reddick showing up to training camp. So while there's a lot of people that say, hey, he's not showing up unless it's a long-term deal, Rappaport, again, there's differing reports, and I'll read you a couple of them, which why you may feel conflicted about this. But if that's true, figure out the alteration, get his ass in camp, and let's roll. What are we talking about here? But according to Brian Costello, again, all of these updated reports are in the column below. Quote, the Jets are open to a short-term solution, but Reddick is focused on a long-term extension. The Jets want Reddick here before resuming negotiations. They're not interested in negotiating with a player who is holding out, end quote. That is from Brian Costello. And that was something also Connor Hughes reported, that they're not going to talk to Reddick until he shows up, which, again, could get pretty spicy if they're like, hey, man, it's almost like the line, and I don't want anyone to take this out of context, and I'm probably stupid for even saying it, you know, the line in shows like, I don't negotiate with terrorists, you know, like, I don't negotiate with players who aren't here, and like Joe Douglas being seemingly hard, fast, stead in that line of saying, hey, man, show up and then we'll talk, and if he goes, blow me, I'm not showing up. So now there's going to be a lot of emotions and anger and everything of that nature. But according to Rappaport, a full-blown extension is unlikely to happen, however you want to phrase those words there. Costello says that's what Reddick's looking for, so there's a lot of people back and forth. But it looks like, according to Rappaport, if you're to believe what he said, that again, I will give you guys the direct quote here from Rappaport on Twitter. Quote, a full-blown extension may be unlikely, but the alteration of the contract could get him into camp. The Jets got to figure it out.
I mean, that is the hope. I mean, I thought the Hughes report said that they did offer something like that. I guess it wasn't enough on that final year.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like that is really the only path forward, in my opinion, because I didn't imagine that Joe Douglas would run to pay a non-homegrown talent, you know, that amount of money. He's never – I mean, it was like pulling teeth to try to get him to give that to Quinnen Williams, who was in the prime of his career, coming off an all-pro, you know, homegrown talent, you know, all of that. And that's really the only person who's, you know, really been given the bag, so to speak. Everybody else has actually taken a pay cut to join this Jet team. So I wasn't thinking that, oh, you know, the Jets are going to give Haason this deal. It's just that that's what he wants. That is what, you know, anybody, if you love somebody that has done what Haason has done, you are going to say he deserves this deal. I know, you know, the Jets fans, oh, play for the team. But like, if that was your brother, your cousin, anybody, right, you would agree. So, you know, why would he back down? Why would he back down if he can make, you know, 25 this year and next? Per this year and next year. Hopefully that's enough. But I feel like he feels like he's already been doing that. He's been doing that. And after those 2 years, he's 33, you know, let's This is it. This is the time. Which is why, again, I think Douglas he might have made a boo boo.
It's possible.
Yes,
and it's also possible that Reddick and his agent lied would be accurate, but also like perhaps the wrong word to use. That the situation changed. They said, "Sure, yeah, we'll do that," and then again, no Huff, no JFM. They're like, all of a sudden they need me a little bit more. I guess the negotiating table has just changed, and that's an agent's job to milk them for as much money as possible. And if the conversation changed, it is what it is, which I would imagine that part of the equation has frustrated a lot of Jet fans. Two things here. First off, Wudi, your location today has given off Jesus vibes. Like there's a bright light behind you, and every time you turn your head, it's like a little bit, we talked about praise to be alt earlier this offseason. There is a little bit of that every time you have a take, I just feel like I'm looking up at heaven. I feel like there is this glowing, radiant like light around you, which is inspiring to say the least. I just want to make sure I commented that. And also, as we wrap up the show here, Wudi, what is your prediction for what happens? What do you believe? We're recording live right now on July 23rd, Tuesday at 3:43, and we'll explain after that the next time you guys are going to hear both of us together is going to be a week away. We'll explain that in a few minutes, but your prediction as we are sitting here right now with all the information that is presented to us. I check my phone, see if there's any breaking news. No, none that I see. So I put that phone back over there as we're waiting for it. But as the information is presented right now, what is your prediction for how the Reddick Jet situation evolves?
What a question. Obviously the hope is that he plays. I need him to play.
Of course. Yeah.
Scale 1 to 10, it's a 9. I need him to play if the Jets are going to win a Super Bowl. This isn't a popular answer, but
oh wow. Okay.
I mean, the Jets are a very famously snake-bitten franchise. Aaron Rodgers got his Achilles torn in 4 plays. Bad things happen to us all the time.
Okay.
I think that he either holds – I think he probably does some sort of bare minimum deal, like bare minimum actions so that he doesn't get the year told on him.
Holds out for like, let's say, again, we're making this up because we don't have all the rules in front of us, but holds out for like, let's say the first 10 weeks of the season, and then he has to show up at a certain point, just kind of shows up, does the bare minimum, whatever happens to Jets, boom, he's a free agent, he's gone.
I think so.
Damn. Okay. I don't think it goes that far, but I appreciate the honesty, Woody, because what we want on this show is your prediction. So if you predicted, Paul, he's signing 5 minutes after the show's over, great. If that was your prediction, sounds golden. I'd love for that to happen. But I appreciate the honesty, and I want this show to have that when we ask a question like that for it to be real. So, okay, that would suck, but okay, I understand how you got there. Again, to me, and Terrence Hill was like, boo, negative energy, blah, disgusting. Yeah. Again,
I mean, I'm not trying to, but like Boy Green says, predict what will happen, not what I want to happen. I think I've made it clear what I want to happen.
Yeah, I will say this again. I don't think it goes that far. I think either. Which again destroys your leverage. But I think the Jets in their head have a line and they're like, okay, like if it gets to this day, okay, let's stop playing around. But the Woody Johnson, which I believe is how the Jets Packers trade happened ahead of the draft. I think Joe Douglas had his heels dug in and he was like, Packers, you ain't trading him anywhere else. We all know that. You know that. I know that. Aaron knows that, who just announced he intends to play for the Jets. It's happening. So, like, just give it for us the deal that we said. And then Woody, I think, ahead of the draft said, okay, enough effing around here. Let's, like, what do they want? Okay, fine. Bing, boom, bam, boom, done. And that's how I think it happened. So maybe that's how it happens this time. I believe there's a date in the sand where the Jets are like, okay, enough's enough. Let's just bang it out and do what we have to do to get it done here within reason. And that's what I think happens. So I believe we're going to get a little bit more awkwardness for the next week. Let's call it. So 1 second. Let me just. I want a phone a friend option here. I'm not actually bringing someone on the show. The thing I wanted to see. So okay, I got the Jet schedule in front of me. I just want to see when the first preseason game was. That is August 10th. So okay, we have more time than I thought, like 2.5 weeks, because obviously the Hall of Fame game. I forgot about that. So by August 10th, Saturday, August 10th, that's about a 2-week time period. Which is, by the way, what I kind of was thinking in my own head. Okay, over the next 2 weeks, near the end of the 2 weeks. Reddick signs, he's back, and it's all gravy. But I believe it's going to get very uncomfortable over the next 2 weeks. because like the Hall of Fame game comes in like a week. Reddick's still not signed, which means starting the next week is the build up to that first preseason game for the Jets. And we're like, whew, the season is a month away. Boys, what is happening? And pressure makes diamonds, awkwardness happens, and I think ultimately that pushes us over the goal line. Again, I don't like when players miss anything. I didn't like when Sam Darnold way back in the day missed like a couple of days of training camp. I'm like, God, that only hurts. Just like figure it out, you bastards. We're fans. We're like, come on. It's not my money. Come on, pay him. Do whatever. It's easy for us to say that, but that's what I believe. Before the first preseason game for the Jets, which again is August 10th against the Washington Commanders at noon. That is Saturday, August 10th. I believe before that game is played, Haason Reddick will be under contract for the New York Jets, and it'll be all gravy and figured out. But I believe it will get incredibly awkward and incredibly uncomfortable, and that could include some Reddick Instagram posts, which, by the way, I have my phone set. Anytime that bastard posts or does anything, I will get a notification. Hopefully it's good news, like, yeah, I can't wait to be signed to the Jets, as opposed to, remember, in the middle of this gap of nothingness, he said, don't believe everything you see on the contract. I went on a little bit of a rant on social, which I'm afraid of one of those happening again. So again, over the next 2 weeks, it's going to get weird, and it's going to be some uncomfortable shows as we should be talking about other stuff, Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson, training camp touchdowns, but we're going to keep talking about, unfortunately, this Reddick thing. That's what I believe. But I believe it gets done in the next 2 weeks.
Dane, I respect your comment.
Dane.
Let us use this light that Boy Green has mentioned behind. I see nothing wrong there. But let us use this light to pray to the Lord that Boy Green's prediction is right and that James Wudi's prediction is dead wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants my prediction to be correct,
right,
including myself. Manifest it, Boy Green. Okay, I wholeheartedly hope and believe, because if that's the case, then my daughter will have a tremendous birthday weekend, because that is her birthday weekend. So that's the best gift I can give. Forget about the dollhouse. All right, forget it. You don't need that Barbie. You need Haason Reddick on the Jets. That's what you need, baby girl. Okay,
I appreciate that.
So let's see, and hope that happens.
Okay, two things here. First off, as Matthias said, welcome to the coffee club. All the brand new members today again. Shout out to Jared and shout out to Rick Kent that gifted 6 wonderful memberships today, again, to push us to the triple-digit mark, which is crazy. When you look at the YouTube analytics, like, you guys all like joined like a rave party like over the last month and a half, which is a big bulk of you that weren't the OGs before, which is so cool. So shout out to all you guys for that. But also, Woody, a bit of an announcement. We will be breaking our streak. We will not be doing a Boy Green Meets Woody on Thursday. So folks who tune in at 3:00 and they're looking around and they go to the train station, they're like, oh, he's going to be here. He's going to be here for sure. And you're just waiting and waiting. Spoiler alert, there will be no Thursday show. I will be back and doing all my normal Boy Green dailies. Plus, I start my Jake Asman show every Friday at 3:00, which will be on my channel and Jake's coming up this Friday, but no show Thursday. But we will be back the following Thursday with Joe Blewett of Jets X Factor, Woody. You're on mute.
Yes, absolutely. We will get it popping. There was no party this third party Thursday. It's Boy Green was very, very professional to not throw any blame. The blame's on me. You can blame me. But we will be back, baby, next week. And like Boy Green said, third party that week will be very nice, very nice. An esteemed guest. Might have to bring back the fishing rod. That's pretty funny. Rick, you already know you my mans. We will be back better than ever. And hopefully, speaking about more positive things next week on those episodes.
Yeah, so again, I will reach out to Snowball immediately and see if we could get that that fishing rod emoji before we're on again. That would be spectacular. And hopefully, Woody brings back the fishing rod. Hopefully Joe blew it and Jets X Factor is enough of a little bit of a cast in the ocean there to bring it in. But we'll have to see. Again, that will not be this Thursday. It'll be the following Thursday, just for those counting at home, which, by the way, will be August 8th. Or August 1st, excuse me, with the 25th this Thursday. So it'll be August 1st. We'll be introducing a new month by the time we do this again for Boy Green Meets Woody. But again, I will be back tomorrow morning at 7:30 with Nick Faria, who will be joining us and trying to give us the latest on this Reddick situation, which should be very interesting. Woody, awesome stuff, man. Enjoy a little bit of time away here, and we'll see you again in a week, pal.
Yes, absolutely. Appreciate all of you. Appreciate you, Boy Green. And definitely I'll be tuned in. You and Jake Asman, on Friday should be a tremendous collaboration. So I'll be looking there as well.
Yeah, I know. Brandon is so destroyed. He's like, wait a second. There's this Haason Reddick thing, and now there's no Thursday show? I know. Devastating. Devastating. I understand, Brandon. That's a lot to lay on you all at once. There's no doubt about it. But, hey, you know what? Things happen. But I will tell you, to the 300 people live in the room, make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe down below, help spread the gospel of Boy Green Meets Woody. And you guys can tune into the channel and make sure you check out all the shows. Again, live every single day at 7:30 in the morning. Boy Green Meets Woody is live every Tuesday, Thursday, or mostly every Tuesday, Thursday at 3 o'clock. And plus, like I said, I'll be doing a new weekly show with Jake every Friday at 3 o'clock. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Let's hope for the best on this Reddick thing. Not a great start to training camp, but the first practice is tomorrow, and we'll be back on for Boy Green Daily to talk all about it. Let's roll. God bless everybody. We'll see you.